Welcome to the Surviving BPD Relationship Breakup Podcast. If someone in your life has BPD, you know how difficult it can be, and you need to learn how to heal from those toxic relationships. And that's where this show comes in. Expert education, expert knowledge, expert insight, and delivered with compassion and empathy. To purchase and book sessions with AJ Mahari, visit ajmahari.ca. This is the Surviving BPD Relationship Breakup Podcast. And now your host, AJ Mahari.
It's a comment that was left on a short I did. So the commenter says, I've been craving her so bad, I've given myself time, and nobody else really interests me at all. It was never so bad in the relationship. Just moments were shed randomly, have a disrespectful things to say whenever she was stressed. It was like she couldn't help it one day. I left her for it because I didn't believe it was okay for myself to have someone disrespect me like that. That was a good call, and then what happened? So long as it's good for you. Is she good for me? Probably not right now, but I hope so in the future. I don't think so long as it's good for you. Well, I'm sure a lot of people out there can resonate with this commenter that that's what you feel like. If they could just kind of understand some things, or if they could just kind of stop splitting, or if they could just love me back, that would be good for me, right? So what's wrong with this whole thing? Well, you predicate it on capability that this person that you want to love forever doesn't have right now. Oh, she's addicted to you and you're obsessed with her. Betrayal bond situationship. You each need to heal that in your own ways, and you each need to move forward, and there will be no rekindling in the future. And I hope that you can hear that, and anyone that resonates with this commenter, because there won't be any rekindling in the future. I also think addiction is tabooed because what if it's good for us? It's not. A commenter says, what if it's good for us? I also think addiction is tabooed. Well, there's a reason for that because there's nothing healthy about it. And then the commenter says, like I said before, the commenter says, addiction is tabooed because what if it's good for us? I feel like I can love her forever. Is that so bad? Well, you're putting this in a good, bad split, a dichotomous good, bad way of thinking.
Do you relate to this commenter so far? Because if you do, I would really urge you to listen to the entirety of this podcast episode, because this is something that so many people are operating under denial, kind of within fantasy. The betrayal bonds, the fantasy bonds, the illusions, the hopes, the dreams, but they're not really reality. Can you relate to what this commenter has said so far? And I've changed the order a bit to get a couple of the issues he really brings to the forefront later in this episode, really to hopefully get you to listen some more if you relate. Because if you relate, I really do understand, and I really do feel for you. And I'm out here to work with people that relate with this commenter to help you to change this for yourself so that you can break the betrayal bond, so that you can really heal and move forward. There is going to be no rekindling with exes sometime way in the future if they ever get treatment. Because what happens to you in the meantime? How many people with codependency haven't yet come to understand that a big way in which you're living, likely unconsciously, and trying to love and have relationships is predicated on the what if and the if onlys. If you can just get this person to change, if you can just get this person to be different, if they could just be who you thought they were in the idealization phase. But what ifs and if onlys are cognitive distortions that just continue to fuel codependent escapism. You're escaping from yourself, you're escaping from your past, you're escaping from your pain, and you might not know this consciously. You might be wondering, or you might not want to hear this at all. But wherever you are today, if you relate to what's been said by the commenter so far, you might really be in a world of hurt. You might really be in a world of emotional trouble and a betrayal bonded situationship that no matter how hard you try, how long you wait, how much you work at it, how many therapists you see, how many times you go for couples counseling and all these other things, the only answer and the only way forward is starting to self-partner with yourself. Working with someone like myself, if you resonate with me, I'm out here to work with you to help you to break the betrayal bond and to find yourself again. Then to do the healing work you need to do. Each one of us needs to live our lives in the here and now of the present moment, not projecting some future, whether that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, and never going to happen from now. Are you somebody who maybe still doesn't want to hear about codependency? But you're in this unconscious escapism of what if and if only, and but I need them back and I can't live with them and I can't live without them? This episode might start to change the way you're thinking. It might really help you start to think in a way that can help you to start to take action, to change your entire life.
Commenter says, but I believe she only did what she did because she felt intimidated and scared, so she chose to fight rather than help me de-escalate the situation she got herself into. Okay, but the situation she may well have got herself into, she believes has something to do with you, and you were trying to de-escalate it, and therefore somehow to one degree or another you were both involved in it. I'm not saying it wasn't more her situation that she got herself into. This is rampant codependency that you think that you should accept all these other times and moments and evaluations and the behavior, and that somehow it's your job to de-escalate them because you're trying to de-escalate them so you can have the quote person that you want and have your needs met. And I don't mean that in a transactional way. People with codependency do this unconsciously. And so the commenter is offering an excuse for, which is a lack of understanding, actually, with all due respect, for why she got herself into such a state. Whatever she did that disrespected you, you had that part right. And when people are disrespected in relationships and worse, that's when it's time to end them. And then the problem becomes you're in a betrayal bonded relationship and you can't just walk away. And that's when people need to reach out and get help. I'm out here to work with you if I resonate with you. The commenter continues, I felt like I had to break up with her to have her learn I really loved her more than anything, though things were possible with her if she didn't split. Right. Okay. Well, felt like you had to break up with her, so you weren't even doing it for yourself though. Like, whoa, what's up with that? But you had to break up with her to have her learn how much you really love her. That's codependent too, because breaking up with her would be, if you broke up with her for healthier reasons for yourself, great. But breaking up with her to try to teach her a lesson about how much you love her, that doesn't make any sense, frankly, because that definitely doesn't work with people with BPD. So things were probably wonderful and great and happy and reasonable when she wasn't splitting. A lot of people would say that about their experience in a relationship with somebody with BPD, any relationship type, by the way. But the point is, people with BPD who aren't well enough treated or not treated or aren't diagnosed yet but patterns of, or who just won't go to therapy, or go to crazy kinds of therapy, or not crazy therapy, but therapy that isn't designed to help people heal from BPD. Splitting is the most major defense mechanism in BPD. So people with BPD are going to split unless they have recovered. And by the way, when people have really recovered and healed from BPD, like I know I did over like 35 years ago, no more splitting, no more of that, because that can be healed. But when people have BPD, and they're not treated or, whatever, then the splitting is not going away. So when you let her go, when you broke up with her because she was disrespecting you, you had that part really correct for you. But to try to teach her a lesson in anything and for it to go on, no, because unless she gets 8 to 16 years worth of treatment in really 1 or 2 modalities only, DBT being a good introduction but not a recovery modality, you're just going to get the same person back if they ever recycle back. So you were respecting yourself enough to break up with her, but you don't really respect yourself enough, and it's through the codependency and the betrayal bond situation you're stuck in right now, and what that means and where that comes from in your family of origin in your childhood. But you didn't respect yourself enough to break up with her for reasons that would be healthier for you and that you would be moving on from. You're trying to teach her a lesson. That really is self-abandonment. So things are possible with her if she didn't split. But hey, people with BPD, split often, and you can't control that. Neither can they. When she'd split, she also lied to her whole family about me and tarnished my reputation with them, when really I've only wanted the best for this girl. She reached back out to me, and we had a lovely day. Things were perfect until her parents called her randomly, asking if I was there. Somehow they knew I was there, miles and miles away, probably from her phone or car, ? I don't know. Then she broke down crying because she really smacked herself in the back of the head with karma. I left and she blocked me. I don't know what you mean by she smacked herself in the head with karma. Sounds like somebody with BPD who is enmeshed with a dysfunctional family of origin and dysfunctional parents. A lot of codependency going on in that family of origin, it sounds like. And that, so she's still trying to please her parents. And when she devalued you, she spoke really badly of you to her parents. And now her parents, don't know what this says about parents, they are in that all to black bad split of you and won't see you as, quote, good, unquote, again. I don't know that's how it's her smacking herself in the head with karma. What it is, more to the point, is her being enmeshed in a very codependent way, because people with BPD have codependency as well. So she's enmeshed with her parents and she wants to please parents that probably there's a lot of issues with. And so they come first and you're left out in the cold again. And if you resonate with this, think about it. A lot of people have gone through these type of situations. And the commenter continued, so at that point, he left and she blocked him. Hopefully she gives herself the space to heal. Okay, but the space that she needs to heal sounds like she's enmeshed in an unhealthy, toxic dynamic with her parents and still trying to please her parents. You said you hope that this gives her space to heal. Okay, first of all, it's not going to. Space to heal doesn't mean that they just jump on it and heal. People with BPD need to go into a few of the treatment modalities most efficacious for BPD, seriously determine and stick with it. It can take 8 to 16 years, according to the late, great Dr. John Gunderson, for people with BPD to recover. So hopefully that this space, because he left her again, that he's giving her is going to help her heal, and we can rekindle even after all the trouble she caused to us. She's only 23. Okay, well, investing in hoping that you can rekindle a relationship with this person, I'm just going to tell you the truth, the blunt way, is a waste of your time, is wayward thinking, is false hope, is wishful thinking, magical thinking. You need to get yourself into a healing recovery process so that you can process why you believe this and help yourself out to heal and recover from codependency, the relationship, so you can go on and be actively living your life in the here and now going forward, not looking back, not hoping to rekindle with someone. And she's 23 years old, okay, but if she were to enter therapy right now and stick with it, she might be 33, 35 years old by the time she's really ready to have a healthy relationship, if at all. So what are you investing in? It's false hope what you're doing, commenter, or anybody that can relate to this. Oh, hopefully we can rekindle. She's only 23, even though all she's done already, the commenter says. If she gets experience what real love from shared sides can do, I couldn't imagine how deep our love could have been. But now you're projecting in the future. If she experiences and is loved enough by somebody that will help take away the BPD, not going to happen, doesn't work that way, that then you're imagining in past, you're switching tenses on yourself and you're going back in the past. Imagine how deep our love could have been. But it wasn't, which means it's not going to be rekindled in the future, and it won't be. It never will be. And this is what you need to accept, get some help, so you can process things and heal and move on. Couldn't imagine how, the commenter says, couldn't imagine how deep our love could have been if she was actually there to love back. But she wasn't. So this is like magical thinking. You're in this illusion, fantasy. It could have been so good if only. But it wasn't, was it? And it can't be, can it? And why would you want to invest in rekindling 15, 16 years down the road? That won't happen. When people with BPD heal and recover, they move forward. They don't look back. It's the people with BPD without treatment or not enough treatment, they look back. People that heal and recover move forward. They don't look back. So, and people with codependency need to move forward, because what are you doing standing still? What about your life? What are you doing now? And then the commenter continues, I wish for her happiness. Her smile was so gorgeous, but she was always kind of negative. Making her happy was my favorite thing to do, but she needs to find that within herself. That's very true. And you might have made her a little bit happier than she otherwise was, but people with BPD generally don't really feel, take in, or know how to cope with much happiness in actual reality of what they're feeling. And you said, I love your videos. Well, thank you. They're so insightful. Do you think rekindling a love with someone who has had BPD? The question is, do I think that rekindling a love with someone who has or had BPD is a good idea? No. No, 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 a million times no. Because you need to live in your here now. You need to look at whether you have codependency. You need to get in your own healing recovery journey to explore your childhood, any woundedness in your childhood, so you can become an independent person and you can detach and move forward. Because if she does manage to go through 8 to 16 years of therapy and actually recover from BPD, as many people do, by the way, and I certainly did, then the reality is, as I said, people with BPD who heal and recover do not look back, they look forward. I can just tell you that from experience too, if that matters. When I healed and recovered from BPD, I didn't look back. When people with BPD heal and recover, they move forward, they don't look back. You really need to start to move forward in your life. And anybody that resonates with this. I heard that they need a stable relationship, at least one in their life, to help with their internal problems. I want to always be there for her. She claims that she's addicted to me and I'm obsessed with her too, but isn't love part addiction in general? No, goodness gracious, no. Healthy love has nothing to do with addiction. It has nothing to do with obsession. The fact that she's obsessed with you is as unhealthy on her side as how you feel about her. Lack of self-esteem and lack of self-worth and lack of respect for self in the now. To understand that this relationship, or whatever it was, is over. It's gone. The ship sailed. What are you doing thinking that, you're just going to be 2 ships out on the ocean and you're going to cross again and it's all going to be lovely and work out like 10, 15, 20 years from now? That doesn't make any sense. It speaks really to the trauma bond, to the betrayal bond. It speaks to the woundedness of your childhood. What about you, man? What about you? And anyone that resonates with this comment, or what about you right now? What about what you deserve to heal, firstly, and become an independent person and know yourself better, and then to be living your life mindfully in the here and now, every day going forward, and hopefully meeting someone who's healthy for you and that you can share what you want to share in the here and now when you meet that person going forward. Please don't fall for this way of thinking. There's a lot of reasons why people do think and feel this way, but that's what you need to get into therapy for. I'm not here to work with you if I resonate with you, because you will learn what is errant, self-sabotaging, and self-abandoning about what you're feeling right now. And you'll learn where do those feelings really come from, because it's not really about just this one in each of your cases. Borderline woman, or if you're a woman, borderline man, that somehow you think destined to be with. These people are not soulmates. They are not twin flames. This is not meant to be. This is the agony of something repeating from your childhood, and it's called codependency, and it means a trauma bond, and it has nothing to do with healthy love.
You've been listening to the Surviving BPD Relationship Breakup Podcast. Our passion is to bring expert information for people that are hurt by someone with BPD. We truly hope you've gotten something from the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. For more or get sessions with AJ, go to ajmahari.ca. See you next time.